Okay, so good afternoon, students. I welcome you back to this third lecture on ancient Greek theatre. In our previous two classes, we dealt with the concept of tragedy. We also dealt with some of the elements of tragedy. We dealt with mimesis, anagnorisis, peripeteia, and catharsis in our previous class. In this class, we will move forward and we will be discussing about Aristotle's Poetics, where he talks about the six constituent elements of tragedy. So, our first slide today will be about Aristotle's six constituent parts of tragedy. Now, what according to Aristotle are the six constituent parts of tragedy? I have written their names, you can see it clearly on the slide. The first one is plot. Okay, and these particular elements are arranged in a descending order of importance. What I mean to say is plot is more important than character. Character is more important than thought. Thought is more important than diction. Diction is more important than song, and song is more important than spectacle. So this is the descending order of importance that we have for you people. Okay, so plot, character, thought, diction, song, and spectacle. These are the six constituent parts of tragedy. You have a plot which is very important. According to Aristotle, plot is the most important thing in a tragedy. Okay, when you have a plot, you definitely need characters. So the second is character. Now when you have character, definitely the characters will think. ठीक है, हर कैरेक्टर कुछ ना कुछ सोचता होगा, प्रत्येक कैरेक्टर किछु ना किछु भाबबे. तो आफ्टर कैरेक्टर वी हैव थॉट. After thought, and suppose now that you are thinking, definitely you would like to express your thoughts and in words. Okay, you would like to express your thoughts in words. So the next category is diction. Diction means words arranged in a sentence where you will be expressing your thoughts. So plot, character, thought, diction. And song is something which is a kind of an embellishment and ornament that you have. And spectacles. So song and spectacles are more of a kind of a ornament. But the most important part in this particular sixth constituent is the first one, the plot. So we will start our discussion with a kind of elaboration of what a particular plot is and what is the difference between a plot and a story. Okay, so in our next slide we will be discussing about plot. Now, what is a plot? According to Aristotle, plot is the most important part of tragedy, as I told you earlier. Okay, it is more important than character. Tragedy cannot be written without a plot, according to Aristotle. Okay, so what is plot? Plot is the arrangement of incidents. Plot is the arrangement of incidents. Now, if you remember, when we described tragedy, I told you tragedy is an imitation of an action that is serious, complete, and of a certain magnitude. Okay, this was the definition of tragedy that we discussed in our earlier classes. That tragedy is an imitation of an action. It is an imitation of an action. It is an imitation of incidents. Okay, so it is the arrangement. What is plot? Plot is the arrangement of incidents. Plot is the arrangement of actions. Okay, plot is not an imitation of a character. Plot is not an imitation of what the character is doing on stage. Okay, it is the action of the character that is more important, because what tragedy will do is it will imitate. Plot is tragedy is the imitation of an action. So action जो है वो incident के अंदर आ जाता है. तो plot is actually the arrangement of those incidents and action. So this is the reason why I say that plot is important and character is secondary. Okay, tragedy is not written on a particular character. Tragedy is written on what the character is actually doing on stage. It is the action that is more important. Okay, because tragedy के definition में ही हम लोगों ने पढ़ा है कि tragedy is an imitation of an action that is serious, complete, and of a certain magnitude. Okay. Now, normally a plot is divided into acts, and each act is further divided into several scenes. Now, people who have come from higher secondary schools and ISCs and CBSEs, we all have read Shakespeare in our classes. People coming from ISCs have read Merchant of Venice. People coming from higher secondary must have read Macbeth. Now, people who have read Merchant of Venice, we know that Merchant of Venice is actually divided into acts, and each and every act is further divided into several scenes. Okay, so normally a plot is divided into acts, and each act is further divided into several scenes. Okay, now the next point that we have here is acts and scenes are divided in a way to produce the maximum scenic effect in a natural development. Now, what I mean to say is that a good playwright will actually arrange acts and scenes in such a way that after the completion of the tragedy, it will have the maximum effect on the audience. Okay, so acts and scenes ke emon bhabe arrange kora hobe, emon bhabe divide kora hobe jate tar maximum probhabta audience er upore pode, because ultimately how would you judge the quality of a particular play? Definitely the answer will be the kind of effect the play has on the audience. It is the audience who will actually judge the play. So acts and scenes have to be divided in a very minute way, in a very has to be divided very diligently. Okay, so acts and scenes are divided in a way to produce the maximum scenic effect in a natural development. So the points that I refer to here is, the first one is plot is important part of tragedy. Plot is the arrangement of incidents and actions. Okay, it is because tragedy is an imitation of an action. So herein comes the plot. What is plot? It is the arrangement of the incidents and action. Okay, now we move on to the next slide. Now, tragedy, as I told you earlier, as Aristotle says, is an imitation of life and of action. And this was the point that I was referring to earlier. कि ट्रेजेडी काके इमिटेट करे, लाइफ के इमिटेट करे और एक्शन के इमिटेट करे. ट्रेजेडी डज नॉट इमिटेट पीपल. ओके, ट्रेजेडी डज नॉट इमिटेट पीपल. ट्रेजेडी लोगों को इमिटेट नहीं करती है, ट्रेजेडी जीवन को इमिटेट करती है, ट्रेजेडी एक्शन को इमिटेट करती है, क्योंकि वो तो डेफिनेशन में ही है. And this is the reason why when we were talking about the 6 constituent parts of tragedy, character comes second to that of plot. Plot is the most important and then comes character, because यहाँ पर जो people word का इस्तेमाल किया गया है, ये people टा actually होचे character. So tragedy is not an imitation of character. Tragedy is not an imitation of people. It is actually the imitation of life and of action. So this is the reason why plot comes first and then comes character. Okay. Now Aristotle divides the dramatic narrative into 2 parts, story and plot. Now, in order to understand what is the difference between a story and a plot, what exactly is the difference between a story and plot? Now, if we need to describe the differences, let me explain what story is all about. In fact, stories, कहानियाँ हर जगह है, हमारे आसपास बहुत सारी कहानियाँ हैं. In our everyday life, in books, on the news channels, we have lots of stories surrounding us. In life, we are surrounded by stories, and these stories can be fact or fiction. ये जो कहानियाँ हैं, कुछ तो सच हैं और कुछ फिक्शन है. फिक्शन का मतलब जो फिगमेंट ऑफ इमेजिनेशन है. কিছু গল্প ডেফিনেটলি সত্য, যেটাকে আমরা ফ্যাক্ট বলি, FACT, and some of the stories are fiction. Fiction relates to imagination. So stories are everywhere. जब भी हम लोग बस में ट्रैवल करते हैं, we have lots of people sitting around us, okay, and each and every man has his own story, and we actually listen to them. We often listen to a mother-in-law talking about his daughter-in-law, about her daughter-in-law, by the way. We have father-in-laws talking about the sons-in-law. So we have lots of stories surrounding us. Okay, so what is exactly a story? Now suppose, and what is exactly a plot? Now suppose if I give you a basic story. What is the basic story? The princess kissed the frog and it turned into a prince. Act a princess, act a frog ke kiss kar lo, and suddenly the frog turned into a prince. अचानक से एक प्रिंसेस ने, एक रानी ने एक फ्रॉग को किस किया और वो फ्रॉग जो है वो राजा बन गया. ठीक है, दिस इज द स्टोरी, द बेसिक स्टोरी. नाउ एज अ राइटर मुझे अब क्या करना है? आई हैव द बेसिक स्टोरी. नाउ व्हाट आई नीड टू डू इज कि आई नीड टू थिंक ऑफ अ प्लॉट, कि इस बेसिक स्टोरी को कैसे प्लॉट में इनकलकेट किया जा सकता है. नाउ सपोज कि जो एग्जाम्पल अभी मैंने कहा तुम लोगों से, द प्रिंसेस किस्ड द फ्रॉग and it turned into a prince. এই যে বেসিক স্টোরি লাইনটা বললাম, এটাকে প্লটে কি করে ট্রান্সফার করতে পারি? অনেক রকম ভাবে করা যায়. আমি রকম ভাবে এখানে এক্সপ্লেন করছি. You can use this basic story to write a romantic comedy. You can also use this basic story to write a thriller. ठीक है, so as a writer what I am doing is I have the basic story. I am thinking of a plot, P-L-O-T. So what is the plot? Suppose कि the basic story क्या था? What was the basic story? The princess kissed the frog and it turned into a prince. This is the basic story. Suppose I want to write a romantic comedy on this particular basic story. So I am writing a romantic comedy. How will I write the story? Suppose कि कुछ कहानी ऐसे मैं लिख रहा हूँ कि the princess kissed the frog and the frog told her a story about her school days. And suddenly the girl realized that it was the same boy she fell in love with when she was 12, that she thought she would never see again. ठीक है, now I have written a romantic comedy on the basic story. जैसे ही लड़की ने फ्रॉग को किस किया, वो फ्रॉग लड़का बन गया, और लड़का बनने के बाद उसने उस लड़की से कहा कि मैं वही लड़का हूँ जो स्कूल के दिनों में जिससे तुम प्यार करती थी. ठीक है, और अचानक से एंड में उनका हैप्पी एंडिंग होता है. तो दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ रोमांटिक कॉमेडी. ठीक है, सो दिस इज अ प्लॉट. ओके, सो सिमिलरली आई कैन ऑल्सो राइट अ थ्रिलर on this particular thing. Suppose the princess kissed the frog and it turned out to be a secret agent. Suppose FBI agent या ISI का agent निकल गया. ठीक है, जो वहां पर आया था, he was on a mission to kidnap the princess. Why? Because he wanted to create a political instability. So as a writer, what I am doing is I am thinking of a plot, okay, to frame the basic story. So what was the basic story? The basic story was the princess kissed the frog and it turned into a prince. But as a writer, what I did was I wrote a romantic comedy on that particular basic story, or I write a thriller on that particular basic story. Okay, so this is the difference between a story and a plot. I give you another example in order to make clear the difference between a story and a plot. Suppose if I tell you, I give you two sentences. The first sentence is, the king died and then the queen died. The king died and then the queen died. Okay, this is the first sentence. The king died and then the queen died. The second sentence is, the king died and the queen died of grief. The king died and the queen died of grief. Now these are the two examples that I have given you. Now if I ask you, can you identify which particular sentence will fall under the category of a story and which one will fall under the category of a plot? What was the first sentence? একজন রাজা মারা গেছেন, তারপরে রানীও মারা গেছেন। দিস ইজ দ্য ফার্স্ট সেন্টেন্স। और दूसरा सेंटेंस क्या था? একজন রাজা মারা গেছেন, ওনার দুঃখে ओनर रानी मारा गया। ठीक है, जो सेकंड सेंटेंस है वहां पर आपको बताया गया है कि रानी कैसे मरी, क्यों मरी। क्यों मरी? क्योंकि उसका हस्बैंड मर गया था, उसके गम में जो रानी है शी टू डाइड। ये सेकंड जो सेंटेंस था उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन है। और जो फर्स्ट सेंटेंस है वो क्या था? द किंग डाइड एंड देन द क्वीन डाइड। देखना এখানে কিন্তু কোনো কানেকশন নেই দুটোর মধ্যে। রাজা হয়তো ব্যাটলফিল্ডে মরেছে और उसके बाद रानी को शायद कोई बीमारी थी इसलिए वो मर गई, बट द लाइन डज नॉट मेक इट क्लियर व्हाई द क्वीन एक्चुअली डाइड। द किंग डाइड एंड देन द क्वीन डाइड। सो दिस पर्टिकुलर लाइन इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ स्टोरी। This is the basic story. The king died and then the queen died. So as a writer when I am using this basic story, मुझे तो कनेक्शन दिखाना पड़ेगा कि रानी क्यों मरी है। तो क्यों मरी है? बिकॉज राजा के मरने का दुख था, गम था। तो आई नीड टू कनेक्ट द सेकेंड पार्ट ऑफ द इवेंट टू द फर्स्ट पार्ट। वॉट वॉज द फर्स्ट पार्ट? द किंग डाइड एंड देन द क्वीन डाइड ऑफ ग्रीफ। So what I do is I connect the second event to the first event, and so this is a plot, P-L-O-T. So what is a basic story? The basic story was राजा भी मर गया, रानी भी मर गई. This is the basic story. And what is the plot? The plot is राजा मर गया और उसके गम में उनकी बीवी भी मर गई. ठीक है, that is the plot. Okay, so this is the difference between a story and a plot. I hope this particular section is clear to you कि what is the difference between a story and a plot. Now our assignment for this week will be based on this particular definition of a story and a plot. So let us first write down our assignment for this week. I will be giving you a basic story and you will write the plot of that particular story. Okay, and the question is, the basic story is, this is the basic story that I am giving you. আমি তোমাদেরকে একটা বেসিক স্টোরি দিচ্ছি, मैं तुम लोगों को दे रहा हूँ एक बेसिक स्टोरी. आप लोगों को उसका प्लॉट लिखना है. Now you can write a romantic comedy, you can write a tragedy, you can write a tragicomedy, whatever you want to write, but you need to create a plot. So the question is, the basic story is, they found true love before they died. They found true love before they died. D-I-E-D. They found true love before they died. So this is the basic story. Now you need to create a plot. Now you can use this story to write a tragedy, comedy, tragicomedy, whatever you want to do, but this will be your assignment for this week, so that the difference between story and plot becomes clear to you. Okay, and we need to remember that plot के अंदर, प्लॉटेर भेतरे किंतु कॉजेशन चले आसছে. कॉजेशन की स्पेलिंग क्या है? व्हाट इज द स्पेलिंग ऑफ कॉजेशन? C-A-U-S-A-T-I-O-N. Now what do you mean by causation? Causation means reason. Causation means কারণ. রানী কেন মারা গেল? बिकॉज তার স্বামী মারা গেছে, बिकॉज उसका हस्बैंड मर गया इसलिए रानी उसके गम में मरी. तो ग्रीफ, इन ग्रीफ इज एक्चुअली द कॉज, द रीजन फॉर द डेथ ऑफ द क्वीन. सो प्लॉटेर भेतरे इन अ पर्टिकुलर प्लॉट वी ऑलवेज हैव अ कॉज. Okay, we always have a reason why the second event is actually happening. Why is the second event happening? Why is the queen dying? Because she was in grief at the death of her husband. Okay, so this is what story and a plot is. Now what is a story? Story is the raw material from which a plot is made. I suppose this point is clear to you because I have given you a basic story for your assignment this week. So that is a raw material that you have. Now what you need to do is you need to write a plot on it. Okay, so what do you mean by raw material? Suppose the clothes that we wear, ठीक है, ये कहाँ से आता है? It is made of, suppose कुछ जो बैग्स हैं जूट के जो हम लोग इस्तेमाल करते हैं, ये कहाँ से आता है? ठीक है, ये जूट से आता है. तो जूट इज द रॉ मटेरियल. सिमिलरली स्टोरी इज द रॉ मटेरियल फ्रॉम विच अ प्लॉट इज made. Okay, Now, Greek tragedies draw the plot from much longer Greek myths. Now, people who were writing tragedies at that point in time in Greece, who were writing tragedies? Sophocles, Aeschylus, Euripides, these were the people who were writing tragedies. So, where did they draw their plot from, their story from? They actually took their stories from Greek mythology. Now, Greek mythology is an ocean. ठीक है, Greek mythology is like an ocean, and what the tragedians did was they took a particular section, ठीक है, a particular section from that particular ocean of Greek mythology and wrote their plays. So Greek tragedies draw the plot from much longer Greek myths or mythology. So the last point in this particular slide is definitely the plot is the smaller part of the larger story, because Greek mythology is a part of an ocean kind of a thing, because it is quite vast, and this is the reason why I say larger story. And writing a story of Oedipus is just a section, a small part of that larger story. So the plot is definitely smaller than the story. Okay, the plot is the smaller part of the larger story. Now you need to remember that I gave you a particular basic story for your assignment, and that is a single line story, and you need to write a plot on that. Okay, don't confuse it with this particular last point, that the story is the large part and plot is the smaller part. This point is used in reference to Greek mythology. Okay, and the difference between story and plot that I told you is what is given for your assignment. In this case, story is the raw material, the single line that I have given you, and plot is the kind of structure that you build on that particular story, the kind of category you write on this particular raw material that I have provided you. Okay, I suppose this particular point is clear to you as of now. Now Aristotle says the playwright must select his set of events from the larger story and organize them into a logical order, which Aristotle calls a unified action. Now what do you mean by a unified action? Again, if I give you two examples, the king died and then the queen died. So there are two events happening. Act दिखे राजा मोड से, act दिखे रानी मोड से. So there are two different events happening. This is not unified action. But when we give you the second example, when I tell you the king died and then the queen died in grief, তাহলে রানী কেন মরছে? সেকেন্ড ইভেন্টটা কেন হচ্ছে? সেকেন্ড ইভেন্ট क्यों हो रहा है? रानी क्यों मर रही है? बिकॉज ऑफ द फर्स्ट इवेंट. सो देयर इज अ यूनिफाइड एक्शन, जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं यूनिटी ऑफ एक्शन. सो ट्रेजेडी में, किसी भी कहानी में यूनिटी ऑफ एक्शन का होना ज़रूरी है अकॉर्डिंग टू एरिस्टोटल. सो एरिस्टोटल टॉक्स अबाउट द यूनिटी ऑफ एक्शन, एंड दैट इज व्हाट unity of action is when you consider the second example. The king died and then the queen died out of grief. Here you connect the second event to the first event. But when I give you the example that the king died and then the queen died, here you have two different events happening and no one is dependent on the other. So there is no unified action as such. Okay, so a unified action is a sequence of events that tell a single and clear narrative. Okay, so the story tragedy will be about a particular man and it will follow the downfall of a man from good to sad times. Okay, so it will be about unified action. It is about unified action. It is a sequence of events that tells a single and clear narrative. Oedipus is about Oedipus itself and no one else. Okay, each event in the plot must cause the event that comes next, and this is the thing that I am referring to again and again, that the death of the queen is only because of the death of the king. So the second event is connected to the first event, and that should be in a particular tragedy or in a particular play. Each event in the plot must cause the event that comes next. Okay, and the term that I referred to, unity of action. Okay, now we come to the second element of tragedy. Character is the second most important part of tragedy, and there are certain rules of characterization. If you go through with Aristotle's Poetics, Aristotle wrote a book by the name of Poetics. This is for your reference, for your extra reading, if you can go through it. So the name of the book is Poetics, Poetics, Poetics. Okay, so what are the rules of characterization according to Aristotle? Point number one: tragic characters must be good. Oedipus is good. Okay, so I am giving an example of Oedipus because that's easier for you to understand since you have that in your syllabus. Tragic characters must be good. This means that they have the ability to make good choices about their actions. Okay, so Oedipus is a good character. Number two, tragic characters must be portrayed appropriately. For example, if they are a king, they must behave as you would expect a king to behave. Now, the tragic characters should be consistent actually. If they have been given the role of a fool, they will behave like a fool throughout the play. They have to be consistent with the roles. If they are a king, they should behave like a king throughout the play. Okay, so the characters have to be portrayed appropriately and they should be consistent in what they are doing. So definitely, if a king behaves like a fool, that does not make sense. So a king should always behave like a king because audience expect that from a king. A fool will always behave like a fool. That is what the audience's expectation is from the fool. Okay. So tragic characters should be like us in some way. Each and every tragic character that we read or we will be reading, particularly Oedipus, again, he is like us in some way, but a little bit better than us. Okay, they are like portraits of people. They reflect the person as they are, but they accentuate the person's best qualities. So Oedipus has all the characteristics that a common ordinary human being has, but he has something more. He is a bit better than other common characters or portraits of people around. Okay. So tragic characters should be consistent in their behavior. This point is repeated again. What do we mean by the word consistent? That a king should always behave like a king, a fool should always behave like a fool. If they begin behaving in one way, they can't certainly start behaving in a completely different way. कोई भी कैरेक्टर शुरू से लेके लास्ट तक, अगर वो राजा है तो राजा की तरह बिहेव करेगा, अगर फूल है तो फूल की तरह बिहेव करेगा. उसमें कोई डेवियंस नहीं होना चाहिए, उसमें से उसको हटना नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है, ही हैज़ टू स्टिक टू द पर्टिकुलर रोल दैट ही इज प्लेइंग एंड द सोशियो कल्चरल एटीट्यूड्स associated with that particular role. Okay, so tragic heroes must have a fatal flaw or hamartia. Now let us first clear the term hamartia. Hamartia is also known as fatal flaw. It is also known as tragic flaw. Okay, hamartia can roughly be translated as error of judgment. Hamartia माने होच्छे error of judgment. Hamartia का मतलब है error of judgment. Now what kind of an error of judgment? Definitely error of judgment is always unconscious. No one makes an error consciously. कभी भी कोई जानबूझ के तो गलती नहीं करता है, क्यों जने बुझे तो और भूल करे ना. So hamartia means error of judgment, and it actually means the unconscious error of judgment. But you don't need to use the word unconscious because error of judgment is always an unconscious error of judgment. No one makes mistakes consciously. So hamartia means an error of judgment. So when we go through the story of Oedipus, we find that what is the error of judgment of Oedipus? The error of judgment of Oedipus is he kills his father and marries his mother. He kills his father and marries his mother. This is the hamartia. Hamartia means the error, ERROR, the error of judgment. Okay, so what is the error of judgment in the case of Oedipus? He kills his father and marries his mother. But when you go through that particular text called Oedipus, you will find that this error of judgment, this hamartia of Oedipus, that he kills his father and marries his mother. This error of judgment arises from his pride, pride, from the ego of Oedipus. Oedipus is egoistical. ही हैज दैट प्राइड, अहंकार, যেটাকে আমরা বলি PRIDE, अहंकार जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं हिंदी में या बांग्ला में, ठीक है. दैट इज द रीजन फॉर द एरर ऑफ जजमेंट इन द केस ऑफ इडिपस. Why do I say so? Because if you go through the text, you will find text of Oedipus. You will find that Oedipus was actually thrown from the road, from the street on which the king was supposed to pass. राजा को जिस रास्ते से जाना था उस रास्ते पे इडिपस भी खड़ा था, तो राजा के मंत्रियों ने इडिपस को धक्का मार के हटा दिया. तो दिस एक्चुअली इडिपस एक्चुअली फेल्ट इंसल्टेड. His pride was affected, his pride was insulted, and that is the reason why he kills the king. So it is Oedipus's ego, it is Oedipus's pride, ahankar, which leads to the error of judgment. And what is that error of judgment? He kills his father and marries his mother. Okay, so tragic heroes must have a fatal flaw, a hamartia. So hamartia means error of judgment. Now this flaw does not make them obviously this flaw does not make them a bad person. Oedipus is not a bad person. Definitely he has that pride, वही अहंकार, definitely वो अहंकार उसमें है, but Oedipus is not a bad person. But it is the thing that will cause their fall from good fortune to bad fortune. But that pride for Oedipus is something that brings about a change in his fortune from good to bad, and this reversal is known as peripetia, as we were discussing last day. Peripetia means reversal, matlab change. So only because of this hamartia, only because of this error of judgment, only because of this pride that leads to hamartia, that brings about a change or reversal in Oedipus's fortune from good to bad. Okay. Now the third element that Aristotle talks about is thought. Now what is thought? Definitely the characters, if there are characters in a play, they will definitely think. So that is what thought is all about. Thought means what the characters think or feel during their career in the development of the plots. Okay, so this is as simple as it gets. Okay. Now the thought is expressed through speeches and dialogues. If there are characters in a play, they will think, and when they will think, definitely they will also try to express their thinking in thoughts, in speeches, in dialogues. Okay, so this is the reason why after thought comes diction. Diction means words. So whatever the character is actually thinking, that needs to be expressed. And how do you express those thoughts? Definitely it is through words. आप लैंग्वेज का इस्तेमाल करेंगी, अपनी भाषार ব্যবহার করবেন, আপনারা words use করবেন to express yourself. Okay, it is the medium of language or expression through which the characters reveal their thoughts and feelings. So what do you mean by the word diction? Diction means words. So now you can logically connect those 6 constituent parts. The first one is plot. If there is a plot, the secondary thing is characterization. So if there are characters, definitely the characters will think, and if the characters are thinking, that means they will try to express themselves. So for that, for expressing themselves, they need language, they need words. So here comes diction. It is a medium of language or expression through which the characters reveal their thoughts and feelings. Song, as I told you, song is one of the embellishment. It is a kind of an ornamentation. आप कभी भी बाहर जाते हैं, যখন আমরা কোনো বার্থডে পার্টিতে যাই বা কোনো বিয়েতে যাই, আমরা অনেক মানে সেজে যাই, हम लोग बहुत सज धज के जाते हैं. That is a kind of an embellishment. अगर सज धज के नहीं भी जाएंगे तो भी चलेगा, ठीक है, लेकिन सज धज के जाते हैं, ठीक है, और सुंदर दिखते हैं हम लोग. सो सॉन्ग इज वन ऑफ द ऑर्नामेंट्स दैट कैन बी यूज्ड, दैट माइट बी यूज्ड इन अ ट्रेजेडी. And the last one is spectacle. Spectacle, what do you mean by a spectacle? Suppose कि I saw a particular play at Chandan Nagar Rabindra Hall, Rabindra Auditorium. That was a play on Shakespeare's Tempest, and the production was from Bangladesh. People from Bangladesh, from Chittagong area, came to Chandanagar to perform that play called The Tempest by Shakespeare. Now, the Bengali that they were actually, it was actually a Shakespearean play adapted into the Bengali language, but the Bengali that those people were actually speaking in was something that was very difficult for me to decipher, because it was a dialect of Bengali which is spoken in Chittagong, and so the language became a bit difficult for me to decipher. But what was very eye catching, स्पेक्टिकल हमेशा आई कैचिंग होता है. आई कैचिंग का मतलब वो लोग बीच बीच में ड्रम बजा रहे थे, कभी कूद रहा था कोई, कभी जिम्नास्टिक कर रहे थे. तो ये सब स्पेक्टिकल हैं. ये नाटक में रह भी सकते हैं, नहीं भी रह सकते हैं. ठीक है, नाच गान ढोल बजानो इन ऑर्डर टू अट्रैक्ट योर अटेंशन. ठीक है, दिस इज़ व्हाट स्पेक्टिकल इज़. ठीक है, सपोज आपको स्टेज के ऊपर, आई सॉ अ प्ले जहाँ पर स्टेज के ऊपर वो लोग एक लड़की का मॉलेस्टेशन दिखा रहे हैं, तो वो लड़की चीख रही है, हम लोगों को उसकी आवाज़ मिल रही है. इट गिव्स यू गूज बम्स डेफिनेटली, बट it is something that is not a very necessary part of the play. Okay, so that is what spectacle is. It includes scenes of physical torture, loud lamentation, dances, colorful garments of the main characters and the bigger league, or jocular appearance of the subordinate characters or of the fools on the stage. Okay, so spectacle is the last element that we have here. So the six constituent parts of tragedy are: number 1, plot; number 2, character; number 3, thought; number 4, diction. So these four elements are very important. Okay, plot followed by character, then comes thought, diction, song, and spectacle. So I suppose these elements are clear to you. Now, after these elements, let us move to the three unities. In fact, earlier in one of the slides, I was talking about the unity of action. আমি একটু আগেই কথা বলেছিলাম না, unity of action. We need unified action in a tragedy. So now we will be talking about three unities, and we will try to see whether Aristotle talks of these three unities in his poetics. Aristotle কি poetics এ তিনটে unities এর কথা বলেছেন आदेओ, সেটা নিয়ে আমরা একটু দেখব যদি বলে থাকেন. एरिस्टोटल ने क्या इन तीन यूनिटीज के बारे में बात की है? व्हाट आर दोस थ्री यूनिटीज एक्चुअली? पहला वाला है यूनिटी ऑफ एक्शन, द सेकंड वन इज द यूनिटी ऑफ टाइम, एंड द थर्ड वन इज द यूनिटी ऑफ प्लेस. These are the three unities that we have. Unity of action that we discussed earlier, we need a unified action. Then comes a unity of time, and the last one is unity of place. Now, in poetics, if you go through poetics, you will find that Aristotle very explicitly माने होचे openly, बार openly वो refer कर रहे हैं unity of action को. तो unity of action is something that Aristotle explicitly refers to in poetics. You will find a reference to the unity of action in poetics, and by unity of action, as I told you, it means unified action. The second event must be connected to the first event. The death of the queen in grief is connected to the death of the king earlier. Okay, as I told you, that is what unified action is, or unity of action is. The unities of time and place were invented much later on in the Renaissance. Now you need to understand that unity of time and place are something which does not find a very explicit reference in poetics. Poetics में unity of time और place के बारे में एकदम openly कुछ भी नहीं कहा गया है. In fact, it was only during the Renaissance that critics and other scholars came up with these other two unities, जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं unities of time and place. Okay, now these three unities were primarily used in the work of French neoclassical playwrights such as Racine, ठीक है. देयर इज दिस राइटर कॉल्ड रसीन एंड अदर फ्रेंच न्यू क्लासिकल राइटर्स, जो लोग ये तीन यूनिटीज को अपने काम में लगा रहे हैं. এই তিনটে ইউনিটি এদের প্লেজে, এদের নাটকে আমরা দেখতে পারি. particularly রাসিনের নাটকে unity of action, unity of time and unity of place. So unity of time and place does not find a very explicit reference in poetics, but it was invented much later on in the Renaissance. Renaissance means a new age, a new era of learning, a revival kind of a thing. We will come back to Renaissance. We will describe Renaissance later in some of our classes. So as I told you that in poetics Aristotle refers to unity of action, but we do not find a very overt reference to unity of time and place. The unities of time and place were invented later on in the Renaissance and were primarily used by the French neoclassical playwrights, particularly Racine. Now what do we mean by unity of time? Unity of action, as I told you, unified action के बारे में बात हो रही है. Unity of time states that the action of the play must not last longer than a single day. So this is what unity of time is, that the action of the play, जब भी कहानी शुरू होती है तो सुबह, अगर कहानी सुबह को शुरू होती है तो रात तक उसको कंप्लीट होना है. ठीक है. इट शुड नॉट जंप एजेस. ঠিক আছে, কি আজ ছোট বাচ্চার রূপে দেখলাম হিরোকে, আবার দেখালো 10 মিনিট পরে একটা গান হলো, সেখানে আমি দেখলাম বাচ্চাটা আবার বড় হয়ে গেছে, হি বিকামস অমিতাভ বচ্চন और শাহরুখ খান और ঋতিক রোশন. ঠিক আছে. The play must not last longer than a single day. So unity of time has to be maintained. Now we move on to the next slide. Okay. Pardon me, there is a bit of a problem. Okay. So here we come. What do we mean by the unity of place? The unity of place states that the action of the play must all take place in the same location. There cannot be any set changes. Now, if you go through with Oedipus, you will find that the whole of Oedipus takes place just inside or outside the palace of Oedipus. Okay, the set does not change. So the unity of place states that action will take place in that particular spot only. कोई भी set change नहीं होना है. But this particular unity of place thing was not maintained by Shakespeare. If you go through with Shakespeare's plays, you will find that in Merchant of Venice, the play automatically shifts from one location to another, from Venice to Belmont and again back to Venice. So this unity of place was maintained by the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, but when we come to Shakespeare and during the Renaissance, we do not find unity of place being maintained by other playwrights as well. So the unity of place states that the action of the play must all take place in the same location. There cannot be any set changes. So these are the three unities: unity of action, unity of time and unity of place. Now, since we were discussing about the ancient Greek stage, let me show you the structure, the basic structure of what the stage looked like. Down below you will find that there is this word called skene, S-K-E-N-E. S-K-E-N-E. Now skene means a temporary hut. It was supposed to be the greenhouse for makeup and other sort of things. Okay, so skene was a temporary hut for makeup. It was a kind of a green room for the artists. Okay, so after skene we have a proscenium. Proscenium एखाने लिखा नहीं, proscenium यहाँ पर लिखा नहीं हुआ है. Proscenium का मतलब क्या है? Whenever we visit Oikotan or Robindra Bhavan or that kind of auditoriums, we find that there is a raised platform যার উপরে নাটক হয়, যার উপরে programs গুলো conduct করা হয়. সেটাকে আমরা proscenium বলি. The spelling of proscenium is P-R-O-S-C-E-N-I-U-M, proscenium. That is what proscenium is. Proscenium is a raised platform যেখানে actorsরা perform করে. So after the skene comes proscenium. ठीक है, after the skene and before the orchestra. After the skene and before orchestra, মানে এই দুজনের মাঝখানে, অর্কেস্ট্রা স্ক্রিনের মাঝখানে একটা रेस्ड प्लेटफॉर्म হবে যেটাকে আমরা proscenium বলি, जहाँ पर actors acting करते हैं, जिसको हम लोग proscenium, that is called proscenium. We have the orchestra. Now orchestra is a circular space where the chorus actually held hands together and they sang songs. Okay, they sang songs in order to tell the story. So orchestra is a place जहाँ पर chorus हाथ में हाथ डाल के, chorus तो एक आदमी का नहीं होता है, there are lots of people in the chorus who move around in circles in the orchestra and they tell a story. Okay, on both sides you will find a word called parados. The word called parados. Now parados means entry and exit. You need an entry and exit. Now even if you go to a cinema hall, a theater, you will find that there is this door which leads to, which is actually the exit to the theater. So ऊपर लिखा रहता है this is exit, this is entry. तो उस दरवाजे से अंदर आना है और दूसरे दरवाजे से निकलना है. So parados implies entry or exit. And the last but not the least is the theatron. Now theatron is a space where the audience actually sat. So that is what theatron is. Theatron में बैठ के वो लोग ऑर्केस्ट्रा और प्रोसेनियम पे जो हो रहा है वो लोग देखते थे. तो these are some of the parts of a Greek theater. We have the skene, we have the proscenium, we have orchestra, we have theatron, and we have parados. Okay, so these are some of the parts of a Greek theater. Now we move on to our next slide. Okay, now these were some of the masks that the actors actually wore. Now from the very picture you know which one is a comic mask and which one is a tragic mask. On the extreme right below you will have a comic mask. शक्ल देखो वो कितना खुश है, ठीक है, কত আনন্দে আছে, उसके ऊपर তার উপরে দেখো that particular person बेचारा काफ़ी दुखी है, ठीक है, चेहरा देखो कितना शॉक्ड है, कितना दुखी है. माझखाने when you come to the middle picture you find again that this particular mask is definitely a tragic mask. Okay, this is a tragic mask. Now on the extreme left you have lots of other masks. Okay, so you will have a tragic mask, you will have a smiling face, and there are lots of masks. The actors actually wore mask, M-A-S-K. Now the comedy mask, the mask of happiness, is known as Thalia, T-H-A-L-I-A. It is known as Thalia. Now who is Thalia? Thalia in Greek mythology is the muse of comedy. Muse means goddess of comedy. Okay, so the name of the goddess of comedy was Thalia. And idyllic poetry, portrayed as a happy, cheerful young woman crowned with ivy. Now I will show you the picture of Thalia. She appears to be very happy and she has ivy on her head. Ivy is actually the name of the flower. Okay, that is actually the crown of Thalia. Made of ivy. So the comedy mask is known as Thalia. The comedy mask means, if I go back to my previous slide, the laughing one. This laughing person on the extreme right is the one we can call the Thalia comic mask. And the tragic mask is known as Melpomene. Melpomene. Now who is Melpomene? She is the muse of tragedy. She is the goddess of tragedy. And when we look at her picture, which I will show you in my next slide, you will find that this particular goddess has a tragic mask in one hand and a knife or a club in the other. एक हाथ में ट्रैजिक मास्क है और दूसरे हाथ में या तो नाइफ होगा या डंडा होगा, जिसको हम लोग क्लब कहते हैं, যেটাকে আমরা इंग्लिशে क्लब बोली, वो हम लोग उसके हाथ में देखेंगे. So the tragic mask is known as Melpomene and comic mask is known as Thalia, T-H-A-L-I-A. This is Thalia. Now she appears to be very calm and quiet. देखो कितनी खुश है वो, ठीक है. Okay, this is Thalia, the comic muse, the muse of comedy, Thalia. And this is Melpomene. Now Melpomene, as I told you, on one hand she has the tragic mask and on the other hand you have the क्लब, CLUB, क्लब का मतलब क्या बताया था, डंडा, ठीक है। तो देखो ये हो गई मेल्पोमीन, इन्हीं होच्छेन मेल्पोमीन। दिस इज द म्यूज ऑफ ट्रेजेडी, शी इज द म्यूज ऑफ tragedy. Okay. Okay. So as I told you in our previous classes that during the competition that was held during the Dionysius festival, the people who were participating, the dramatists who were participating, should show 3 tragedies and 1 satire play. ठीक है. As I told you that in the competition there was this rule that a particular tragedian has to show 3 tragedies, which is called trilogy. 3 tragedies दिखानी है जिसको हम लोग trilogy कहते हैं, TRILOGY. আর আরেকটা দেখাতে হবে তার সাথে, সেটা হচ্ছে satire play, SATYR, satire play, PLAY. Now we will come to satire play a bit later. We need to describe what a satire is. पहले तो ये डिस्कस कर ले कि सटायर क्या है, ठीक है। सटायर किसको कहते हैं, हु इज अ सटायर एक्चुअली, आगे সেটা আমরা দেখে নিই। इन ग्रीक माइथोलॉजी a satire is also known as Silenos. তাহলে সাটায়ারের আরেকটা নাম হচ্ছে সিলেনস। the name of satire, the other name of satire is Silenos. Okay, now what is a satire? A satire is a male nature spirit with ears and a tail. Now the spelling of tail will be TAIL, pardon me for the error in spelling, and a tail, TAIL, resembling those of a horse. That means the satire, I will show you the picture of satire. He is like a male, a man with ears and a tail resembling those of a horse, as well as a permanent exaggerated erection. A permanent exaggerated erection. Now, as we know, the male reproductive organ is related to this erection thing, and I will show you the pic of satire a little bit later. Now, these satires are known as lovers of wine, music, dancing, and women. So, these people are lovers of wine, music, dancing, and women. And they were companions of the god Dionysius. Okay, and as we know, Dionysius is actually the god of wine, he is actually the god of fertility, theatre, arts. So these satires were the companions of the god Dionysius. In classical Athens, when we are talking of classical ancient Grecian culture, because at that point in time Greece was not called Greece, it was divided into city states. उस समय देश का नाम ग्रीस नहीं हुआ करता था, क्योंकि हर पूरा देश जो है वो छोटे छोटे भागों में उसको डिवाइड किया गया था, जिसको हम लोग इंग्लिश में कहते हैं सिटी स्टेट्स. दे वर कॉल्ड सिटी स्टेट्स. ओके, सो इन क्लासिकल एथेंस इज द नेम ऑफ अ प्लेस. Satire made up the chorus in a genre of play known as satire play. We will come to satire play, which was a parody of tragedy and was known for obscene humor. Now, satire play काके बोलिए हमरा? What do you mean by a satire play? Satire plays were actually humorous plays, but humorous means যেখানে আমরা একটু হাসার সুযোগ পাচ্ছি, जिसमें हम लोग हंसने का थोड़ा मौका मिल रहा है, क्योंकि satire play से पहले the audience had actually watched 3 tragedies. सो सर जो है वो तो बहुत भारी हो गया है, एंड दैट इज़ द रीज़न वाई एक लाइट हार्टेड प्ले दिखाया जाता था 3 ट्रेजेडीज़ के बाद में. एंड व्हाट वाज द सब्जेक्ट मैटर ऑफ दोज पर्टिकुलर सटायर्स? इट वाज ऑब्सीन ह्यूमर. ऑब्सीन ह्यूमर मतलब जहाँ पे सेक्सुअलिटी और जो इमोरल है उसको लेके लिखा जाता था और लोग हंसते थे उसको देख के. इट वाज अ पैरोडी ऑफ ट्रेजेडी. पैरोडी मीन्स एन इमिटेशन ऑफ ट्रेजेडी विच वॉज डन इन अ ह्यूमरस वे. ठीक है, तो एक ह्यूमर का एलिमेंट होता था. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ ह्यूमर? ऑब्सीन ह्यूमर, जहाँ पर सेक्सुअल रेफरेंस बहुत ज़्यादा आता था. दे वर वेरी ओपन एंड लिबरल व्हेन इट कम्स टू सेक्सुअलिटी. Okay, and this has to be because satire play, the name satire play comes from satire, SATYR. And as I told you, who are these satires? These satires are actually, who are satires? They are the lovers of wine, music, dancing, and women. They are the lovers of wine, music, dancing, and women. They were companions of god Dionysius. So definitely, what is a satire play? The satire play will have all the features that a satire actually has, because satire play, the name comes from satire. Now, when I show you the pic of satire, this is how a satire looks like. Now, look at the ears, the tail that he has behind, and look at his legs actually. They are like horses, hooves of horses. If you have seen the hooves of horses, you can identify the legs of satire. This is how, and as I told you, an exaggerate erection. Look at the male reproductive organ that is represented here. An exaggerated erection. This is what is known as an exaggerated erection. Okay, so this is how a satire looks like. So from the very definition of what a satire is, you understand the kind of plays that were written in the name of satire plays. Okay. Now, what is a satire play? Satire play was introduced into the Athenian dramatic festival program sometime between 520 and 510 BC, invented by a man called Pratinas. So this was the name of the man who invented this satire play. The name of the man is Pratinas, Pratinas. The three tragedians, as I told you, Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides, competing during the Dionysian festival, were required to compose 4 plays. 3 tragedies composed as a trilogy, as I was telling you, trilogy, and a satire play, which was performed after the trilogy of tragedies. Okay, so each and every dramatist participating in the Dionysian festival had to show 4 plays, the 3 tragedies composed as trilogy, and plus a satire play. Okay, now this satire play was a light-hearted play, burlesque in nature. Burlesque means exaggerated, absurdly comic, ठीक है, जिसको देख के हंसी आए, absurd in nature, which ended the day, ताकि लोग जो हैं घर जाते वक्त थोड़ा खुश होके जाए, because they have been watching tragedies, তাই একটু আনন্দ পাবে যদি ওই satire play দেখে. There are certain people, যারা বলে, there are certain people who say that the function of satire play was perhaps to offer relief, and this is the point that I was reiterating again and again, that these satire plays were actually used to offer relief. মানে এত ট্র্যাজেডিজ দেখছে, 3টে ট্র্যাজেডি দেখার পর তো ডেফিনেটলি মাথাটা একটু ভারী হয়ে গেছে. সো দিস satire plays थोड़ा रिलीफ आपको ऑफर करते हैं and contrast to the seriousness of the tragedy. So there is one group of people who think that satire plays actually offered relief, okay, after the seriousness of the tragedies. Now there are other group of people who suggest that as the main dramas evolved, they distanced themselves from drama's Dionysian origin. There was another group, और उसका मानना है कि एक्चुअली ड्रामा अराइज করছে কোথায় থেকে? Drama definitely has a Dionysian origin. Now the word Dionysian has come from the word Dionysius. Now Dionysius was a god of wine, fertility, arts, theatre. But what happened was, when the famous tragedians started writing their tragedies, they moved away from these elements. Wine, women, laughter. They moved away from these particular themes and brought in some different themes altogether, which was not related to Dionysius. So what happened was, they decided that they will be showing a satire play, and satire, as I told you, were the followers of Dionysius. So what is a satire play? Satire play has all the elements that a Dionysian play should have. So this other group of people, they suggest that as the main dramas evolved, main dramas means the tragedies that those tragedians were actually showing. So as the main dramas evolved, they moved away from the Dionysian origin, and this is the reason why satire had to be shown, because satire was something that still portrayed or still had the Dionysian elements in it, क्योंकि सटायर में सारे डायोनिशियन एलिमेंट्स आज भी मिलते हैं, तो इसीलिए ट्रेजेडीज में तो वो एलिमेंट्स अब नहीं दिख रहे हैं, बिकॉज आस्ते आस्ते ट्रेजेडियंसরা সরে যাচ্ছে ডায়োনিশিয়ান এলিমেন্ট থেকে বা অরিজিন থেকে, but satire playতে we find all each and every Dionysian element. This was also one of the reasons why satire play had to be shown after the trilogy of tragedies. Okay, now satire plays were short about half the length of a standard tragedy. The line is, I suppose, very clear to you. The satire plays were short about half the length of a standard tragedy. They were generally composed in trochaic meter. Now, what do we mean by trochaic meter is a different topic altogether. We will come to that. For the time being, you just need to keep this in mind, that they were generally composed in trochaic meter, best suiting the dancing performed by the chorus. In diction, meter and structure, this satire play is far closer to tragedy rather than to comedy. So when it comes to the language, when it comes to the meter, when it comes to the structure, satire plays are actually closer to tragedy. But the theme of satire play is always obscene humor. It will make you laugh, okay? Is far closer to tragedy rather than to comedy. We have just one surviving satire play, and the name of that particular play is Cyclops, written by Euripides. I have written this point. Only one complete satire play. The name of the spelling of satire is wrong here. Satyr it would be. So the only one complete satire play survives from classical times. 709 line long, Euripides' Cyclops. So Cyclops is actually the name of a satire play. Satyr. Okay, so Cyclops is the name of the satire play which is still surviving. This play was written by Euripides. So this is what satire play is all about. So we will be stopping here today. Our assignment for this week will be, the first assignment is already given to you. You need to write down the plot of that particular basic story that I provided you. That is the first assignment. And the second assignment will be, you need to write down the importance of thought and character according to Aristotle. Okay, the importance of thought. Sorry, pardon me. The question will be somewhat like this. This is not the question. Pardon me. Sorry, pardon me. The question will be, you need to write about the importance of plot in a tragedy. This will be the question. Importance of plot in a tragedy according to Aristotle. So these are the two questions that will be your assignment for this week. The first one is, I have given you a basic story and you need to write down the plot. And the second one is, you need to write down the significance of plot according to Aristotle in a tragedy. So these are the two assignments that you have for this week. Okay, so with this, I close this session of today's. Hope you had a wonderful session. You learned something from this particular class today. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can WhatsApp me and I will clear your doubts about it. Okay, so have a nice day.
Okay.
Have a nice day.